Don't bring me back. Don't bring me, don't.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be working on a Smith & Wesson MP9C. Now, this is one of the very first projects of 2018, and I can already tell that 2018 is going to be a year of opportunity and a year of big projects. I've had a lot of people reach out to me over the last couple of weeks. We've already have a couple of quotes turned out and some slides already heading this way, and some of them are already here. So I have a feeling that this first couple of months of 2018, we're going to be doing a lot of large projects and not so much of the small work. Let's just jump right into exactly what's going on here. So the customer reached out to me and they wanted to do an M&P that's very similar to my green gun. Now, if you haven't seen my green gun, I have it here today. I brought it out. So what you're going to see is on the top we have a hive pattern that goes down the center and then it goes over the edges. We're going to be doing the exact same thing here. The only difference is we'll be running a smaller pattern because obviously the slide is significantly shorter. So we're going to be running a 4 base pattern on the top with 3 on the side, so we'll have 4 holes, and then we're going to do 3 on each side. And then on the side, what we've got going on here is, you can see here we've got a recessed pocket, and then we have our hive here, and we also have a shave side. So we will be doing the exact same thing here. So we're going to go ahead and shave the side all the way, starting in the rear section here, right where the logo is. We're going to come down the side, and then we're going to go ahead and run 4 on the side. Now these 4 will be in line with the top 4. Okay, so once that's done, we're going to be running what some people are calling a Cobra nose or a Cobra cut on the front. So we'll be cutting a C channel here on the front, and then we'll be flaring that back. That will take place on both sides, and obviously we'll be shaving this side and adding our hive on this side as well. That's going to pretty much wrap up the sides and the front nose area. Now on the back section, we're going to be doing a lasered pattern that's going to be very similar to the hive. Ones that you've seen on some of my other guns. I think there's a G17 I put out that had some logo worked on the back. Obviously we won't be putting any of the lettering there, but we will be running the hive on the back section here. So that's going to be really, really cool. And last but not least, we're going to be doing some work on the barrel. So on the what would be the right side or the ejection side of the barrel, we're going to be doing a 3-row hive, which you guys actually have seen on the top of this gun. So what you're seeing on the top right here is going to be on the side right here. Okay, very similar. We might change it up a little bit to make it fit proportional here, or we may actually add some extra rows if it just doesn't look right, but that's going to give you the general idea of what we're going to be putting on the side here. And then if you've watched some of my other videos, my barrel videos, you'll see that I did a fluting, a straight flute with a hive between the flute, and we will be doing the same thing on this barrel as well. So basically when we're all said and done, we're going to have some nice pattern here and some nice pattern here, no more writing on the gun, and you'll be able to see our nice engraved pattern here, and you'll be able to see down through the side here and through the side there, and that is going to come out really super cool. So what we're going to do now is let's go ahead and start with the top section, and let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. Let's do the CNC work on that over there on the Tormach. Let's go ahead and bring it back. Let's see what we got. Man, this thing came out super, super nice. Beautiful. So I did not run it under the sandblaster. I wanted to go ahead and show the tool work, the markings that are on there. It's pretty minimal. Obviously that's going to all get taken care of before we do the coloring on the slide. Let's go ahead and drop the barrel in. Take a look at it. Obviously we're going to be able to see some nice barrel down through those top cuts there. So guys, there's really not a lot to say about it. It came out really, really nice. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take you guys through the left-hand side. We're going to shave this down. We're going to go ahead and do our 4 cuts on the side, and let's get to it. Well, guys, I am super pleased with the way this came out. It just came out looking really, really nice and even, proportional on both sides. I was able to go ahead and run it under the sandblaster, knock off about 90% of the lines that were on the slide. I do have some more work to still do, a little bit of sanding work to do and stuff before we actually Cerakote this back to black. But I'm just overall really, really pleased with the overall appearance of how it turned out. It was one of those things where, you know, I'm more of a Glock guy and I work on a lot more Glocks than I do any of the M&P series. But, you know, at the end of the day, everything turned out okay. And sometimes you just have to do that. If you don't step out and try something new, you'll never gain any new ground. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that knowledge is kind of gained by taking risks. It's not necessarily earned just by doing something, you know, over a duration of time. You really have to step out of your comfort zone and do some stuff that you don't normally do to achieve those end results that you're after. But wow, I'm just super, super pleased with the way it came out. So once again, I've got a little bit more sanding to do and some things like that. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and do the top rear section with the laser. So that way I can go ahead and do the rest of the prep work on the slide, get the slide back to a Cerakote black. And then, you know, once we work on that barrel, it'll show us a little bit more of our final product. So let's go ahead and run it under the laser in the back section here and wrap up all the slide work. Guys, this is an absolutely beautiful barrel. Nice and deep flutes, nice and deep hive hex pattern on the side here. I mean, this is really just one of those things that really makes your project stand out. I mean, lots of people send their slides in to have their slides cut, to have stuff done on them, and they look really, really nice. However, the barrel is just one of those things that really just adds that extra little bit to it. Obviously, you can go out there, you can buy an aftermarket barrel, but at the end of the day, it's not really catered to your theme or your design or what you're even going for. It's really just a threaded, fluted barrel that might be tin coated or something like that, but it really doesn't match what you're after. So having a barrel done like a factory barrel is going to save you money because, you know, it matches your project first and foremost. And second of all, you already own the barrel. Right? So you're not going to be taking that factory barrel, putting it in the case, you're going to be putting the aftermarket barrel in your gun. You're actually going to save that extra money that you'd be paying for that aftermarket barrel to have it done on your factory barrel. And you already know it shoots great because it came from the manufacturer that way. So it's an opportunity to really top off your build and not add a ton of extra money to the project to make that happen. But guys, it came out really, really nice overall. I'm very, very pleased with the design and how it came out. Really deep. I was able to go out and get you guys a couple of pictures of the barrel and of the slide. So you're going to see those here in just a little bit. But let's go ahead and put it into the slide. But before we do it, let's just show the slide off. So what we did is we went ahead and used an H series Cerakote long-lasting durability here, and it's going to give them an overall great appearance back to the weapon instead of having it, you know, somewhat not colored or whatever the case may be. So it's one of those cheap alternatives to getting back to the factory image. That Cobra nose came out wicked. Like, you know, they go by a lot of different names. There's some people that are calling them seat cuts and Cobra cuts and claws, bull nose. There's lots of different terminology that's out there. I think mostly you guys go with what would be a Cobra cut, but but you guys can call it whatever you'd like to call it. There's lots of different people cutting them, but let's just take a look and see if we can see the barrel down through here, the fluting. Oh yeah. So I'm not sure if the customer is going with a tin coated barrel, whether it's a chrome colored like a silver, or whether they're going with something like a gold. I'm just not 100% sure what they're after, but I do know that it's going to look really, really awesome when it's done. And one of the things I did here was I stayed away on the fluting, so you can see the fluting here. I stayed away from externally exposing it because it was one of those deals where I didn't want some of it to be like that. I just thought that would kind of be odd. So nice and evenly proportionally set up, right? So obviously this is nice and in the center. So that's one of the things that you got to watch out for when people are doing barrels, whether they put them in the center or not. You can notice that it's not in the center here, okay? But it's in the center when it's actually in the firearm. And I don't know about you, but most of the time when people look at my stuff, it's all together. So that's kind of an added bonus. Looks really nice there. Matches everything else on the gun. And then of course we have the actual fluting down in through there, which we can see, and our side fluting as well. So just really, really overall impressed with the design, and really, really cool. So guys, I have some pictures I want to show you of this, so let's go ahead and take a look at those. And I want to talk to you about a couple of things. All right guys, as you're looking these pictures over, I wanted to talk to you about what always seems to come back to the top of the list of questions, and that is, are we going to be offering laser stippling on frames, on grips, on PMags, or not? And I am pleased to announce to you that yes, we are going to be doing it, and it's going to be sooner than later. I ordered a new machine. The new machine is primarily catered around that business, and it's not here yet. However, somebody reached out to me and needed some stuff from me, and in the end they educated me on something that I didn't know that I could possibly do with my machine, with a little bit of change to the machine itself. And that's really, really cool, because now we're able to run laser stippling on the fiber laser that we currently have here. Unfortunately, I don't really have a whole lot of information about my laser because it's a homemade laser. It's one of those deals where it's already been rebuilt and repurposed, so it really doesn't have a brand on it anymore. So I know there's a lot of you guys that are going to reach out to me and say, well, what make and model do you have, and what kind of settings are you using? At the end of the day, it's not going to work that way for you because it's not a marketed item. So you can't just drop a check and go get the machine. Hardware changes need to be made internally. Hardware changes needed to be made externally in order to actually run this. So it was kind of one of those deals where I really can't help you with that. I wish I could, but at the end of the day, there's really no advice I can give you. It's not a machine that's readily available on the market, so I apologize about that. But guys, if you have not seen my other work, go back and watch some of my other work. Subscribe if you like me. Hit the thumbs up if you like the content. Find more information about our smaller projects like this. We had a couple of videos that came out about this on Instagram before we released it. And that's where you need to go, Instagram, because it's got the cool stuff. And then, of course, we have Facebook. Now on Facebook, it's going to show you the where and the when. We've got a gun show coming up at the end of the month. It's going to be here in Greensboro, North Carolina. And we will have some grips, some mags, and some frames on the table for you to pick up and fondle that have been laser engraved. So really cool. You'll be actually able to pick up one of those in your hand, play with it. And there might be a couple of them that are going to be for sale. We haven't decided yet, but we may have a couple of P80 non-completed lasered grips that you actually will be able to buy at the show. So we're going to see what we're going to do about that. How many we can get in, how many we can turn out before we get the show here. But anyhow, in the next 2 weeks or so, you will see a demo video come out of polymer engravings, and it's going to be really cool. So learn as you go, guys, and if you need me, I'm only an email, a phone call, or a text away. Guys, you know how to get a hold of me. NCEngravers.com. That's where it's at. Go to the contact page. Have a good one.